I am Rusty. And sometimes that's just kind of how I am, too. We have a hard Sudoku puzzle from the Sudoku store today. Another one tomorrow night, or tonight. I'll be posting that as soon as I get done posting the results of this puzzle. And we will see how this all goes. All right. Usual, once I hit the checkbox, if everything validates, i.e. we get gray squares around, or all the numbers I put on here have drop into gray squares. You get 20 seconds before I start solving the puzzle to see what you can do to grab a copy and maybe start solving. Or not. And there we go, 20 seconds for you. Meanwhile, I'm watching a printer get started on a print. But not for much longer. There we go. All right, so we get a 6 here. One of these two is a 7. One of these two is also. And that means one of these two is. I got 3 possibilities here, but actually I end up with 1 possibility. Means that's not, that is. All right, 6s. Anything else I can do with those? Well, we can put a 6 here. How about a 6, not a 7? One of these two will be a 6. I've got 3 possibilities here. This one is going to be a 4. And down here, I've got a 4 going in here. One of these two will be a, nope, not that. This one's going to be a 4. And this one's going to be a 4. Let's see, can we do anything with other stuff? Well, we've got 2 possibilities for a 2 here. There's a 2 here, so that can't be it. One of these two will be a 2. So that's not a 2, that is. Over here, I've got 2 possibilities for 2. 3 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here. Makes it a 2-7 pair. And that looks like about all I can do for 2s. How about 1s? Well, you see we've got a pair of possible 1s there. A pair of possible 1s there. It goes with the 2s. But that makes things a little interesting. One of these 3 is going to be a 1. Got 4 possibilities here. Sorry, mark those 2. 4 possibilities there and here. This can't be a 1, so it's going to be either that one or one of these two. How about 3s? Looks like I don't have any 3. Oh, I'll get a 3 here. That doesn't constrain any of these. We got 4 possibilities over here. 5 possibilities here. 3 here. Well, 3 of these are available. 8 of these are available. 4 possibilities here and 5 possibilities here. Actually 3, but we'll get back to that. All right, that was 3s. How about 4s? Oh, we've done 4s already. 5s. Well, one of these 2 is going to be a 5, as is one of these 2. We get a 5 here as well, so there's 3 possibilities there. I've got 3 possibilities here, 4 here. And nothing really constraining this set. All right, so how about if we move on up to 6s if we can? Oh, we got 2 possibilities. Oh, we got them here. All right. 3 possibilities here. We get a 6 here, so we've really only got 2 possibilities here. And let's see, anything else I can see? Nope. How about 7s? We got a 7 there, 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 there. That means one of these 2 is a 7 and one of these 2 is a 7. All right, 8. We get an 8 here. One of these 2 or one of these 2 will be, nope, one of these 2 is an 8. Got one there. One of these, nope, I got 3 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here. 4 possibilities here. And that's going to do for 8s, I think, for now. Got a 9 there, 9 there. One of these 2 will be a 9. One of these 3 is a 9. Got 4 possibilities here. 4 possibilities here. We get a 9 here. And then one of these 3 is going to be a 9. So besides the 5s here, one of these 2 is going to be a 3. This one will be a 3. 1, 2 here. That means one of these 2 is a 3. Still have 3 possibilities there. Still have 5 possibilities there. 5 possibilities here, 4 here. 2 there. 3 here. All right. Don't think I can do anything more with 4s yet. Matter of fact, all 4s are filled. With 5s, we are stuck. I'm sorry. Thanks. All right. 3, 3. Other than this square where I've got pairs, this square where I've got pairs, and this square where I've got some pairs, it's a little limited here. So we've got an 8, 5 pair here. That can be an 8. Either of these can be a 5. One of these will be a 9. 8, 5 here. This one can't be an 8, so one of these 3 will be an 8. Hey, I'm using Pop! OS been fairly comfortable with it for a while now. Among other things, it was one of the earlier ones that gave me a useful GPU. Arch is fine as far as I'm concerned. I just don't use it. Let's see. Who's going to be one of these three? Figure out one of these two. All right. I try to stream Sudoku puzzles about midnight, or a little after midnight nightly. Sometimes I'm a little later than that. I used Ubuntu for a long time. The main reason was that it was reasonably easy to install, to the point where I want to say 15 years ago, I handed an Ubuntu disk to a coworker who was saying, yeah, I want to learn how to do Linux. And he realized it was a smoother install of Ubuntu than a Windows install on the same hardware. And he was disappointed because for him, the idea of learning Ubuntu was that he was going to deal with all the potential problems. Because Linux didn't have all that good of a reputation or easy reputation. Here it was, it went on without a problem. He's going, no, that's not what I was looking for. I don't think Arch was a significant player at the time, so couldn't direct him to that. All right, 5-3 pair here. Doesn't help me with the others, but those two have to go into those two spaces. This could be a 5-3, but I've got a 1-5-3 possibly here. Well, not going to argue on you on that. I mean, my firewall is a FreeBSD, so I get to have that kind of fun difficulty if I really want it. Okay, let's see. I think I'm just going to have to go through and flood fill these. See, that can't be an 8. Yep. I've got a couple of those available, but what I do with the firewall at the time, it wasn't a working or a viable solution for me. I'm missing ones here. Yes, I am. Can't be a 1, though. I think the limitation I ran into was more that I'd already been using PFS for so long. It the work to get UF or W or USW to work well just wasn't worth the effort. Okay, that's not going to be a 1. Neither of those. That means this is a 1. Eight, 9, 8, 9 means this is a 2. One of these two will be a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One of these two will be 8. This will be neither 8 nor 9, so that's 5. 9. Yep. I kind of stepped away from software development for myself. I do a little bit of bash scripting. That's really about it. So some Python, some bash, some. Every once in a while, I'll dabble with C or C++, but they're definitely not my strong suit on coding. So. That can't be a 9. All right, 1. That can be a 5. In fact, it is a 5, isn't it? Yeah, that can't be a 1. All right, let's back those out. That is one thing I'd like to be able to stream, or to, well, one thing I'd like to code a fix for. Really don't need the advertisements for services I have 0 interest in. 1, 2. So one of these is going to be a 3. 4. One of these will be a 5. This can't be a 5 based on the 5 at the top. That's an 8. That makes that a 5. That makes that a 3 and a 5 here, but not a 5. Not a 3 here. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. One of these two is an 8. And one of these 3 is a 9. All right, that makes more sense there. which doesn't mean I haven't blown everything away. So let's see. What do we got in here? Here are ones. Can't be a 1 here. That's not going to be a 1. With this being a 1. Choose. All of these can be a 3, 4. One of these will be a 5. Yep. Understood. It's just I'd like to have a script that can pair match words for the advertisements, and then auto block the any whoever you advertises on it. Okay, so we got 1 8 there. 2 3 4 5 6 7. That can't be a 9. All right, I'm going to have to back out a whole bunch of this. Going all the way to that 5 in the upper right corner. Even if it doesn't, I'm using a combination of Restream, Discord, YouTube, and Twitch on here. And I know that there's a couple of different bots that are involved. Nightbot, I think, is on Discord, and I think it can at least do the banning. At least it can block it from showing up on my Discord feed. So we'll get there eventually. All right, so let's say that's not a 9 down here. Well, basically, I would probably be using something like a Bayesian filter to limit what, or to restrict what it is that the bot, that Nightbot or somebody was using, or was trying to work with as far as pulling things down. But like I say, it's been a long time since I've done any serious coding. That said, it is kind of one of those, I'd really like it if I could get that done, do something about that. Because those ads are seriously annoying. And I really don't need them to be showing up on my YouTube and Discord feeds. We'll see. But thank you. The confidence is nice to find, or to hear of. All right, we get the 2s here. 1s in all of these. 2s, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 in these 3. And so far I've got 9s in those 3. Okay, can't have 9s up here, so we've got them here. How about 1s? All of these could potentially be a 1. These could all be a 2. I can't put a 3 here. So those 2 are going to be the possible 3s. These are blocked as well. 4. But those 2 possibly 5s. But they're not all. I think both of these can potentially be a 5. 6, 7. One of these 3 will be an 8. Can't be one of those, or either of those. This could also be an 8. All right. And one of these 2 is going to be a 9. 1, 2. Threes are in 4. All 4 of these could potentially be a 5. We got a 6. These 2 can be a 7. I've got 3 possible places for an 8, and I already have a 9 here. All right. Let's mark those 3 as 1, potentially 1s. These 2 are going to potentially be 8s. This one can't be a 9. These 2 can't be a 9, so one of these 2 is going to be a 9. That suggests that since I've got an 8 and a 9 and a 1, this is 1, these 2 are not. Because this one can't be either 8 or 9. And that leaves me with a couple of possible 5s. That could also be 3s. Not a 1 up there. That makes this into a 1. All right. So neither of that's not going to be 1. One of these 2 is a 1. I've got 3 possible 2s. That's not a 3, so one of these will be a 3. Got a 4 here already. 5s are going to be over here. If we get 1A or an A, well, we're going to get one. One of these 2 is a 6, 7, and 8. Neither of these can be a 9. That makes one of these 4s a 9. All right. Down here, I get 3 possibilities for 1, 2, 3 possibilities for 3, 4 and 5 are around here already. 2 possibilities for 6 are up here. 7. I've got 4 possibilities for an 8. And 3 possibilities for a 9. All right. Now, does anything stand out as possible or as helpful here? Eight, 5, 5, 3. 8s and 3s are over here, along with 9s and 1s. Well, let's try confusing things a little bit. But that is a 2. That means 1 8 here, so neither 8 nor 1 here, not an 8 here. That makes this into a 3. 5, 3 here, which means 9, 5 here. 8 here, 5 here. 3 and 5 here. Not a 3 there. 8, 6 pair. One of these two is a 3, but that with the 8, 6, neither of these can be an 8. And that's also true because of that. This can't be a 5, so that's a 3 now. This becomes a 5. Neither a 2 nor a 1 here, so that's a 9. Not a 9 in either of those. 8 and 1 there. 8 and 6 down here. Six, 2. That's the only 2 in the column. That column has a 2, so these can't be a 2. This one isn't a 2, that's a 7. That makes this a 2. So not a 7 there. Not a 3 in either of these, so 5 and 6 here. We can clean out these 5s. Can't clean out these, but do we get anything else? Ah, yes, we get the 6 cleaned out here, so that's an 8. This is a 6. That 9 means this is a 1. That's an 8. This is a 1. Clean out those 1s. So I got a 9, 3 pair here. 9, 3 there, so that's the 1. This can't be a 5, so that's a 5. Nine, 3, 8, 9, 9, 3. 7, 9, 3, 8. No, that's the only 7. So 8, 3. Not a 3. So that becomes an 8. This becomes a 3. This is a 1 and an 8 here. 1 and a 2 here. This becomes a 9, so it's 3 here and a 9 here with an 8 here. 9 and 3 here. Hey, 32 minutes. Almost 33. 32 minutes, 57 seconds. Not great for a hard puzzle, but not bad either. Especially as I was chatting a little bit. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful night. I'll have another puzzle out in just a little bit on Blue Sky. If you're looking for those puzzles, look for SudokuStore as the user, or rusty.me.zcx, no, rusty.zcx.cc is my ID there. Thank you. And like I say, my goal is to be doing this a little bit after midnight my time. I'm in Central Time Zone, United States. I've got things that I'd like to do on Sunday here. That's going to require that I get to sleep sometime before 6 o'clock this morning. So let me get updates out, results, and we'll get the puzzle posted. If you're on Blue Sky, that's where to find me. Or just do a search for at SudokuStore. That is not me. I'm just posting their puzzles, but he does post the tweets or the messages that I post that with the puzzle of the day and so forth. So you'll be able to find me that way as well. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and we'll check in with you again soon. Take care.